This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we'll go for a quick introduction. So just wanted to know the audience. I'm Jackie. I'm almost having 10 to 11 years of experience with master data only, but with SAP MDG it's almost 5 years now. So I can see the name. Just wanted to know a quick background of yours. Can you please give your introduction, please?
Yeah, myself, Praveen. I have 8 years of experience in app and a little bit of MDM.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Kishore, Narayan, Ayash.
Yeah, good morning. So this is Kishore here. See, I've been working in MDG from past 4 years, and yeah, so I do work as an end user with
Okay,
whole part of MDM, and I do some part of support level for MDG. So
okay,
though I don't have any much background in technical part, but I still have knowledge on MDG as well.
okay, okay. Got that, Kishore. Okay, okay, Narayan. Got it. Got it. Yeah, Ayash. Okay, so maybe Ayash is having some. Okay, caller 02. Ayash, your introduction, ABAPR, functionals, end user, MDM. Okay, so as you know, SAP MDG is a techno-functional tool. Okay, so when I said techno-functional means it has technicals, it has functionals. But this particular tool, why do we need? Okay, so I will be covering little agendas in my demos. So I will close the demo by another 30 to 40 minutes. Then we will be opening the forum for all of your doubts, queries, everything. Okay. So what is master data? Okay. So if nowadays with cutthroat competition, okay, so even if you have to have do a little transaction, so suppose you are doing a you are creating a PO, okay, so okay, don't worry if you don't know what is PO. So if you are creating a purchase order, in that case, what are the values you are putting? Okay, you are putting a material, you are putting the vendor from whom you are going to buy the material, quantity, price, okay, date, okay. So see, for creating a PO also you need 5 or 6 basic mandatory fields, and out of them material is a master, vendor is a master, price itself is a master. Only the variables are the quantity and the dates. Apart from that, for the PO, all the relative fields will also come from material master. So it is not only these few data, these 5 or 6 inputs. In the backend, you don't have to put everything every time, right? Like for example, the delivery terms, the transportation, the payment term. Suppose all those fields they generally come from the masters. So like it will come from the vendor, it will come from the material. So every time you don't have to put. So you can understand whatever the transactions we do in SAP, okay, it has the master data, it has the transactional data. But to do the transaction, it is always the master data which drives the transaction. Suppose you don't have material, you don't have vendor, first and foremost, you have to create them, right? So always, and it has been checked that 80% is master's role, 20% is transactions role. So this 80%, 20% is, you can just take this as an example. Okay, so Even now, let's come to the support. You will see 80% of the issues or the concerns or the bottlenecks, or there are some something which is which we need to find out, or which is stopping our operations, will come through master data only. It is always the master data's issue. Okay, so technical means at the most there is a change which is required by the system, or there is some glitches between what was expected and what is the current situation of the system. Maybe some things are missing. Correct. So that's the reason why master data is treated as an asset to the company. Okay, and why we are calling it a master? Because it hardly changes. It hardly the frequency of it is, the frequency of changes is very less. Okay, now why SAP MDG? Okay, now as I could see that some people are also from about MDM background, so I will try to give you a picture by which you can correlate how it is, how it was in MDM and now how it is going to be with MDG, so you can connect it very well. Okay, I could see some people maybe having some technical issue. Sorry, I need to proceed. So if you see MDM and MDG, okay, I will give you a quick recap between these two solutions, right? So now MDM and MDG. So if you talk about MDM, there is console. Okay, please, the whoppers, this is also a part of the evolution, how MDG came into the picture, how MDM is also almost going to move from the market. SAP has already declared, they have already stopped the development, and you will see currently in the market there are good amount of projects where they are doing the conversion from MDM to MDG. Okay, so in MDM we had console, so we had data manager, we had, so I'm not had is the wrong word, syndicator, because it is still existing, syndicator. Okay, MDM has one concern, that MDM solely was not capable of handling the business process management, business rules management. So always remember, for MDM it needs other application as well to get it going. Okay, so anybody who is using MDM, you will see a good amount of applications are also integrated, which is a third party, which is again added to MDM. So in that case there is dependency, in that case there is good amount of resources who are involved, there is cross interfaces. Correct. So in that case your tool for master data is, it becomes, it becomes interrelated with each other, it becomes a bit complex. Okay, with MDG the best part is MDG solely can handle all these things. Okay, so whatever we used to say as console, now it is data modeling to us. It is data modeling to us. Okay, the data manager, the import manager, we are doing it through. So what the data manager does, data manager captures, it actually unites all the data modeling process, all the tables, all the upload. Okay, uploading the data or updating the data, all these things data manager is responsible. But for us, we have four pillars: data modeling, process modeling, UI modeling, then we have replication modeling. Okay, so replication is almost equivalent to the syndicator, the way MDM people use. This BPM and BRM, this is business process management, this is business rules management. For all the business rules management, we have our own validation and checks, which is very robust, validation and derivation. Okay, we have it. BPM, we don't need, our process modeling is capable to handle all the business processes. Where what is a typical way of working in MDG? It is always segregating the duty, authentic, the particular master will be segregated with separate views, which is already there right now with SAP also. So now each packet or each view should be approved by authenticated people. If there is a procurement view, then definitely it should be approved by a procurement guy. So that is what I'm saying, segregation of duty. So to do that, we have several roles. Let the right people authenticate the data. So that is what I'm saying. That is how the process should be, correct? So generally what we are doing is we are just doing creation. What are we are going to do? We are going to do creation, we are going to do changes, we are going to do extension. Okay, just an SAP language, right? We will be searching, we will be mass load, we will be doing import, but this import will be a one-time activity which we will be using during the data initial load. Okay, so all these things I call them as an event: creation event, change event, extension. Okay, extension is not a separate event. It's not something you are creating. It's not a new screen altogether. It is actually the copy of us, and which is out of the box. So slowly, and okay. So these are the events what we are going to handle, right, with MDG, and it is not only with MDG. Even these are basics of SAP. In SAP also, what we do, we create, we create a transaction, we change it, we extension we don't do, we search something, right, then we report it out something, correct? So these are our events only. Now MDG, it has been added with some additional capability. Okay, so what are the additional capability? The biggest thing is the BRA plus. Okay, I'm actually this Excel is, I think it's a bit slow, but just give me 1 minute. Okay, yeah, so the validation and derivation, we don't have to require a separate business rule management application. So you must be showing, or anybody who are from MDM background can tell us that how the particular MDM tool is also requiring the interface from other applications. So that's a cross, I can say it's a complex model. But with MDG, now it is MDG, and it is because of all its out of the box properties, we are actually reducing the number of applications, right? So any company will definitely prefer that. They don't want, for the same functionality, they don't want good amount of applications, right? So now all these events, to do all these events, maybe I can just okay, so I'm opening one more Excel sheet basically. Yeah, so what we need is, okay, can I copy it from the previous page? Let me just check. Okay, no worries. Now for this MDM, MDG, okay, so with MDM and MDG, whatever it was there in the earlier screen, so now you can see there is BRF plus. BRF plus is one of, and for all the S4 HANA projects, so now the current market standard is everybody, either they are opting from MDM to MDG, or they are moving ECC to S4 HANA, or they are upgrading from MDG's older version to the latest version. So these are the projects which are right now available, and believe me, with January or February, starting from January itself in 2020, you will see good. Already there are good amount of projects which are there in the pipeline, and we always, for MDG, we always have, there is good amount of discrepancy between the supply and the demand. We don't have consultants, and that's the reason. And okay, so maybe we can discuss all those things maybe a bit later, but on the concept wise, we have this BRF plus. Even S4 HANA promotes this BRF plus. So I'm not making you dissatisfied on this. Yeah, ABAP will always be there, but people will prefer this BRF plus. The number of users for BRF plus is going to be numerous, because even BRF plus can be used by the business user, the functionals. So whatever the piece of code we are writing with all those conditions, or whatever the program we write, we can do it through BRF plus. So that is also there, already there with MDG. So S4 HANA comes now, maybe 3 years. It's now almost 3 years. But MDG had this BRF plus before. So it was, you can say that SAP started this BRF plus with MDG, with Hybris, even in Hybris it is there. So this is one of the strongest app. Okay, so it is there inbuilt with MDG. We have validation and the checks. We have the derivations. Okay, what is validation and what is derivation? Okay, so suppose you have a check. If the country is Germany, then throw a pop-up. Suppose you have a check for any particular supplier master or customer master. Okay, so in that case, that's a check which you want a system to pop up, or you want a system to check something. So that's the validation. It is there as an out of the box. Derivation is suppose for a particular value of field X, you want other field's value to be responsive. Then in that case, we can handle it through derivations, and all these things are out of the box with MDG. We don't need a BRM for this, a business rules management tool for this. We don't need that. Okay, so this is a bit quick snapshot between MDM to MDG. There are several other differences as well, because with MDG now, with all the latest versions, it is always recommended to use Fiori. Okay, with Fiori, I think all these technical people we can see how the look and feel, the user experience has been changed dramatically. Okay, so we had this NWBC before, okay, which is again enterprise portal. Now with Fiori, in MDM earlier, so with MDM also we are kind of using the enterprise portal, right? So but the problem with MDM is we had this enterprise portal, but again you have to have good amount of applications interfaced. Here with Fiori, so till now with I can give you the number of apps which are already there is almost 11,424 apps which are already there. It's not only for MDG, it's for the entire SAP. So you can see that how all these are standard apps are already available. You actually don't need a Fiori consultant for a long time in a project, okay, because all are already standard. So for MDG also we have standard apps available. Okay, so that's the reason in my curriculum you will see for the UI modeling I have actually reduced, but still there are some projects who are using the FPM, the floor plan manager. So we will be discussing everything in a detailed way. So that's for the future. But you can take this, you can just observe this number that already 11,424 apps are available in SAP. So always remember one thing: MDG is equivalent to ECC plus some additional business activity. So whatever SAP is capable of in MDG, whatever the ECC or the S4 HANA. Okay. And if anybody who has, I have recently completed one implementation of S4 HANA, means MDG on S4 HANA. So you can really feel the difference. Okay, so this MDG is equivalent to ECC or our S4 HANA plus some additional business activity. So whatever you can do in a normal SAP system, you can do it in MDG system. Nobody can stop you. Even you will, I will give you a scenario in one of the company. They are treating the MDG box. Actually, there is okay. I will tell you that. So they are using MDG system for their transactions as well. Okay, always it is recommended your master data should be separate. Your transactional system should be different from a master data system. Okay, now with MDG there is something called deployment options. Okay, so which I'm going to tell you now. Deployment option. Okay, so deployment option, we have two models: hub model, we have co-deployment. Okay, hub means what and co-deploy means what? Hub means this is your MDG system. This is MDG. You have good amount of target systems. One is SAP, one is S4 HANA. Maybe it's a new launch, S4 HANA 1. One is a non-SAP system. One is non-SAP system. Okay. We have this MDG. So in the future, if you are actually interested about MDG, and when you will be an MDG consultant, always you will have a recommendation in the future that your master's data system should be a different from the transactional system. So all these systems are your transactional system. So what you need is basically the integration, right? The integration between all these systems, right? So your MDG can be connected, and this is actually one of the out of the box property of MDG. So we can integrate either to a SAP system or also to a non-SAP system. That's the beauty. Okay, how we will do all these things we can discuss later, but yes, for the time being, understand what is hub. Okay, similarly, what is co-deployment? Co-deployment is actually MDG sitting on the top. Okay, MDG sitting on the top of either ECC or S4. Okay, ECC or S4, and MDG is sitting on top of it. So that's co-deployment. That's embedded. People use several jargons for this, but yeah, co-deployment within the SAP system. MDG is a part of it. So it is embedded or co-deployment or MDG on top of ECC or S4. These are the three widely used nomenclature for the scenario. So these are our deployment options. Okay, how we are going to connect MDG to SAP system? Yes, we can connect through LEIDOC. That's the most preferable. We have SOA, so service oriented architecture. We have web services, we have RFCs. So for non-SAP system also we can connect with MDG to the non-SAP system via middleware. SAP PI is definitely SAP's product, but we have several competitors of SAP PI. Even they are performing better than PI. Okay, so it does not mean that all the products of SAP will be well accepted by the market, but yeah, I don't want to give a comment on SAP PI because it has good amount of cost involved, Plus there are some easily cheap converters already available like TIPCO, Seaworger. So all the technical people definitely they might be aware about this. Okay, so this is the deployment options. Okay, what I am going to cover. Okay, so I will be covering the entire SAP. So have you people seen my syllabus? What I am going to what I am going to cover? Anybody?
So no, we don't actually.
Okay, that's fine. So what we are going to do is I will be covering the data modeling, okay, with all the hands-on, with giving you some assignment which you will definitely practice. Will get back to us. Then we can discuss further issues. We can take all the scenarios which will definitely be the real time, and the process modeling. I will not, I can share my syllabus also after the class, but yes, now just for your understanding, what all I'm going to cover. Process modeling. So you know, right, what is process modeling? So just for a process, what are our different processes? Creation, changes, extension. So these all are different CR type for us. I will explain what is all this CR type, what are the basic uh, uh, terminology what we use in MDG. Believe this is a governance tool. Okay, this has got the hype because of several reasons. Now, audit. For audit purpose, company has made a mandate that what you people have your all the manufacturing companies basically. Okay, they have one audit mandate that what is the governance they have applied on the master data. That's the reason. This is one of the big push to use MDG or any other governance tool. Okay, with S4 HANA. Okay, I have stopped this process modeling a bit. So just wanted to tell you that why suddenly there is big demand on MDG. Okay, audit, governance, S4 HANA. With S4 HANA, just for your information, that all there are most of the MDG foundations are already available. The MDG foundation is already available with S4 HANA. Okay, they are actually giving it free. The implementation cost, there are from the license perspective, it is very lesser now because they also want to promote this tool. That's one. MDM to MDM getting converted, right? So MDM converts. That's the reason why there is a big push, which you also know. Okay, MDM converts, right? Then already, okay, now with few making Fury as the most preferred app, it is inbuilt now with MDG with Fury. These are the reasons, okay, why people are striving hard for getting this implemented. MDG Fury. Okay, what else? Or okay, what else? Also, SAP has stopped dev on MDM. Okay, and they have big plans on MDG. Why I'm saying big plans, because with central finance, okay, maybe if you, it might be a bit new thing for you, but yes, with central finance. So S4 HANA has now, you know, right, there is simple finance, there is consolidation, there is central. So there are several nomenclature right now accepted in the market. So over there, they are using MDG's functionality of key mapping and value mapping. Okay, so the usage of MDG is numerous now. Usage. So maybe some people, some companies, they don't want the full-fledged MDG, but they want to use the MDG's concept. So it becomes very requirement. It becomes very needful to understand MDG as a what all it can offer. Okay, all the SAP users, they will definitely go for MDG. Why? Because the company itself, from the investment perspective, they will prefer to use MDG instead of there are competitors as well, but yes, there is good amount of advantages for the regions to keep MDGs demand. I hope you are the way I'm speaking, the way the pace is moving, you people are connected. Praveen, I ask anybody can just confirm. I am audible. I'm taking the pause. It's connected, right?
Yes, it is pretty good actually. No problem. No problem. We are able to get whenever.
Correct. Good. So these are the reasons to take MDG's demand. So I was just what I am going to cover definitely the process modeling with some real-time scenario, like what can be the scenarios. Okay. See, when now with S4 HANA, even S4 HANA is also pushing for the best practice run. Okay, business has really understood today for whatever the requirement. If you keep on scratching the system, that becomes uh, the challenges to the company, right? But if you have come up with good amount of standard functionalities, all those custom functionalities, if I can bring as my standard, then definitely that's the robust system which any company will ever thought for, right? So with this MDG, they have actually touched upon all the scenarios. See, whatever are the country specific requirement, they have to do. That's fine. Okay, they which is suppose actually I in one of my implementation I found for active region, okay, for Argentina and Uruguay, they had a very peculiar requirements, but that those cases it's fine, company understands. But otherwise everybody prefers the best practices. The best practices run the ready to run. Okay, suppose I bring MDG and just install it, just the world is moving towards using any application. It is not only with MDG, they just want to use plugin. Use it means just plug in and start using the functionality. So kind of that era right now we are in. Okay, again it's moving. Okay, so data modeling, process modeling. I will be covering the replication modeling. Let me just try to, yeah. Okay, please, I'm here. I need to actually remove several temporary files basically. Okay, so what next? Okay, so I was talking about what I'm going to cover: data modeling, process modeling. Okay, so when I say process modeling, starting from the change request type creation to activate the linkage types, everything. So don't worry if you don't know those MDG specific words. So that everything. So after this 2 months or 2.5 months curriculum, definitely you'll be capable to do implementation. Okay, because this is purely hands-on, and we will be discussing the real-time scenario. There is no doubt, because whatever we do, I am not going to take example of employee ID, department number, all this the traditional usage of any SAP learners, right? I'm not going to do that. Process modeling, then for UI modeling, I will actually the additional part is the Fury, which actually will definitely give you a good showcase. Okay, but I'm not a Fury consultant, but yes, what are the standard apps, how the look and feel has been changed, definitely we will be addressing. Replication, okay, BRA plus the standard, okay, and because of all our workflow, so we actually call it as workflow modeling. It is very demanding workflow modeling. Yeah, SAP ABAP workflow is also there, like all your SWDD and SW, the traditional ways. But now with MDG, it has become very easy. The schema has been provided to you. The template has been provided to you. Okay, you don't have to do that. Okay, so you don't have to write everything from the scratch. Everything is ready-made. You just need to use it, but you need to understand what you are going to use. So for the validation derivation, I can actually give a little insight that there are two kinds of validation. We handle the validation and derivation in two ways. One is in the ABAP, one is in the PRA plus. Okay. Okay, so we have actually standard bodies available for this. Okay, we can handle it through BRA plus also, we can handle it through ABAP also. So we have rule context preparation, we have email notification, we have uh, dynamic agent selection, we have parallel processing. So all these are standard bodies available. Okay, so your scenario, so we have these four kind of equipments. Okay, so with your scenario we will be using these bodies, and these are standard bodies. Okay, you definitely you have to write a piece of code where I will definitely address the place where you will be writing the code and with the scenario. So it will be a completely thought processing activity for you also. You will be very close to the solution. See, enter functionality I will be dividing into what, when, why, where, and how. Okay, so I don't think that any other questions which will be required for you to understand MDG. These will be the 5 questions, right? And I'm going to address that. Okay, so for the rule context preparation, email notification, dynamic agent selection, parallel processing, all these are standard bodies. But yes, when to use, why to use, where to use, and how to use, all I'm going to cover. Okay, then there will be the further derivation. Okay, we have validation, we have derivation, right? So there are 2 types of derivations what we have. One is single entity, one is cross entity. Okay, so for MDG, the concept of table has been tweaked. Okay, so all the SAP means you can understand. SAP means it is the game of tables, but for MDG it is the game of entities. What is entity? All these things. What is entities? What is attributes? What is cardinality? What is relationship? All I will be covering. So even somebody, I just forgot that who is the guy who has worked as an end user. Believe me, this is the right platform, because now you understand the business in a real time. Correct? You
Yes.
can understand how it's working, all the technicals behind it. So I am also going to share my syllabus, what I'm going to cover. Okay. So that will give a clear picture. But all these activities, whatever I am telling you now, it's all of hands-on. So you will get the system to practice, and you can come back with your queries and everything I'm covering. Yeah. Now, please answer. Please shoot with your queries. Let me understand where I should throw light, or where I should address your concerns. Yeah. Anybody having any questions? Yeah. Yes. Tell me. Anybody?
Okay. Oh, yeah, this is Kishore here.
Yeah, Kishore.
Yeah, see, as I said, I'm a end user or a business user. Okay, so I do deal with like a functional consultant and the technical consultant also. Whenever there is
Correct.
a requirement for in terms of any MDG development or changes, so I guide them. So these are the changes what business is asking for.
Correct.
Okay, so what my question here is, though I don't have any background of functional or the technical, but I'm a bit aware what it does and how it has to be done.
Correct.
Okay, so I do all this bit of functional things also, with changing the number ranging and doing some check in terms
Correct.
of quality and development.
Correct.
Okay, so what my question is, what we have as a UI screen in MDG, so will that going to be changed into Fury or still be using as a UI5 only?
See, first and foremost in MDG we have, as I
Mhm,
mentioned in one of my comparison point, that there is NWBC, there is Fury.
mhm,
Still, there are several projects which are running, and they are
mhm,
preferring NWBC. Okay, Fury. Some people the company who does not feel that, okay, my look and feel, I don't bother much. My users are smart enough, they can use. So NWBC also you can use, and Fiori you can also use. But nowadays, my point was, there are already 11,000 apps available in SAP. Okay, and with MDG, I can. I'm not actually certain about the number, but believe me, with all the processes like create, change, and everything, it has covered all the scenarios. So for Fiori, there is now no more much scope on improvement. And even with 1909, we are still awaiting with the numbers. We just recently, the 1909 came, right, as for HANA. So we can, it's all ready made. Okay, so we will definitely prefer Fiori, but again, it's a cost. But even if you don't do that, we have NWS. The client, so you don't. So that is also standard. That is also out of the box. Yeah. So one thing I will definitely like to address, that always remember, for MDG implementation, there are good amount of participants who will be involved during the implementation. Functional, SAP technical, SAP functional, because the MDG people will not be responsible for owning the data. It is always the SAP functionals like MM, SD, all this responsible, right? There will be security, there will be basis, there will be a solution architect. So these are the roles which we play during different implementation. Solution
Kishore, please mute yourself.
the solution architect, we actually, this technical, either they are basically from the ABAP background, WebDinpo background. Okay, so our ABAPer turned MDG technicals. Okay, SAP functional means all the service, all the different modules, SD, MM, all those people also we need, but we don't need them full time. Always remember, this is the functional people should drive it. Okay, but MDG being a techno-functional tool, it's okay if a person like you tomorrow becoming more close to the business, if you can play the role of, because now also you know the apps, right? You know the functionalities. Maybe if you can acquire this knowledge of a bit technical, then definitely you will be the key people who can deliver this. The end-to-end implementation, there should be a spoke, right? So you people can, so you people like you can definitely deliver, right? So these are certain roles, but yeah, depending upon the size of the implementation, everybody's has their contribution in terms of the percentage. Like functional, actually they play the role mostly to 50%. It is their delivery actually. Technical, if we really need some tweaks, if we really have some custom process with, then only we need some changes, or where we can use the body to enhancement, or we can write some piece of code. So their contribution as per me is 20%. SAP functionals, yeah, because all the data owning, the data profiling, data cleansing, everything, because from an MDG perspective, we only highlight the cases, right? We only tell them that this is something, but it should be owned by them. Security, yes, our actual start works from security, because until unless you don't have the authorizations for doing the same, you can't do, correct? So their contribution is 10%. SAP functional, definitely it will be 5%, but believe me, this is the key. Basis will also have a 10, not 10% exactly, it will be even lesser than that. Solution architect, if it's your design is really complex, we need them, but we don't need them full time. So that's how I divide the thing. Actually, the way I will be processing with the entire curriculum, believe me, at the end I'm going to do one value streaming. So my 2 months or 2.5 months this course, at the end you will be complete with this value streaming. So that is value streaming. So you will see a parallel implementation altogether. So at the end of this curriculum, you will be with one implementation experience. So actually, when I will be sharing the syllabus with you, you will definitely get to know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anybody having any other questions, please?
Yeah, hi JK. I think that time you didn't get my question.
Sorry, I did not hear. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So what I was asking, like when you are saying that MDG is running on NWBC, okay? So like our Fiori, we have Fiori Launchpad. So is it something like that? Is it a Launchpad for MDG?
Yeah, true. See, actually, for all these NWBC or for this theory from the Launchpad libraries we take, so these are actually coming from some authorization objects. So we need to activate all of our BC sets and these authorization objects to put the particular role. So such that the user can see the app. So for NWBC also we have a kind of launchpad. For Fiori also we have the launchpad. So those needs to be activated to the particular role you are playing. Suppose you are a requester, suppose, okay, let me give you that role. Then in that case, you need to be getting the create privilege or change privilege or something like that, right? So with that privilege, you have some authorization objects which are there, which needs to be assigned to the role. So that also, yeah, that is actually, that's all what that will be my starting point. What all the BC sets we need to cover, what all the switch framework activity we need to do, what all the business functions configurations which will need to be activated, because it comes, right? And believe me, this is a pure functional decision, because always a basis people can challenge you that business configurations that they don't prefer to revert. You understand? So yeah, there is configuration document also, but we should be much more clear that what we are going to use. Either we are going to use the NWBC launchpad or we are going to Fury. There is no harm giving the two different objects to the same particular role, but what's the need? You can understand, right? What is the need?
Yeah, okay. My second question is, when S4 HANA came, okay, so we can say that S4 HANA is a backend, okay, which contain the data. Like Fiori is, if you'll see, it is a set of application, okay, which is basically into the front end designing, and front end is fetching the data from the backend. So like MDG is what it is exactly? It is a backend system, front end, what it is exactly?
No. See, now just for some time you forget Fiori. Now with MDG is always a front end tool. Okay, so the user will be always preferring, or they will be using MDG as a global standard source of truth, so that all the creation changes happens, then it reaches to the target system. It is not about what you see. MDG is not a tool which you see or which will affect your look and feel. This is a governance tool where you are in a platform where you have to fill a form. That fill a form, we are actually changing that what minimum number of fields we can give to the users, so that they can adhere the standardization, the distribution, the harmonization, the governance, the validation and checks, remove the duplicity. So our purpose, good question. I will say this is one of the perfect questions what you asked. Why MDG? Okay, to attend, not to have the good lookalike, not to have a good user experience. Yeah, user experience we can add, but to get this, these are our objective which we should meet. If we use standardization, distribution, your masters should be unique across, right? It's not that here for India operation you have a particular business rules. For other countries we are actually diverting from everything. We are directly creating a new app, new functionality for them. No, the same thing needs to be maintained. Distribution, if your material master is behaving for a particular globe, for a particular part of the globe, it should be uniform. Okay, until and unless there are some required filters or required enhancement or changes which is actually required. Okay, standardization, harmonization, authentication, let the right people approve the right set of data, correct? Duplicity check, search. Okay, so here actually MDG is a operational tool for creating the masters. To make it more terse and definite, SAP MDG is a operational tool for creating the masters. for maintaining the master. So maintenance means creation, everything comes. Yeah. To make better look and feel, we might need Fury. We might not need Fury also because we have NWBC. Did I able to answer your question, Ayash?
Yeah, somehow I got my answer.
Okay.
Okay. I think later in the later class it will be clarified more.
When I say MDG having two deployment options, so your questions is actually revolving around that point. So when I say it's
Yeah, actually, yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Actually, we are using the deployment option, that hub architecture and the embedded architecture. Okay. So since I am a OData consultant, so I have a good understanding with this architecture. Like in OData or in Fury, what is happening? We are installing the Fury component as well as gateway component in ECC system. Then that is becoming your embedded architecture. Okay. And if it is two different box, then it is called as central hub. So similar way, when you are saying that we are using these two architecture over here, so I just wanted to know, by using the front end in our Fury, as we are designing a front end things like some input field, some UI elements we are designing. So here, what we are going to design by using this MDG, because already database is there in SAP. So what is the new things it's carrying?
Correct. See, first and foremost, if we are talking about a material master, okay. So material master, remember one thing, material master, you can play the role of a requester. So this is an app for you. Requester has its own privilege. Like suppose requester can only see the basic data, suppose. Okay, and that happens. Requester sees only basic data now. So requester will have a little package, okay, just basic data, okay, and he will be having the maintenance authorization. So to give this requester a particular set of data, we need the views, right? The normal MM03, we can see those views. Now that view needs to be assigned to this particular requester so that he can see his old blocks, his own user interface building blocks. I have a role of approver. Okay, I have a role of approver, but that approver is only responsible for procurement part. In that case, this is a package, right? This is a particular user interface building block which should be assigned to the approver, correct? So the approver can do the edit, or either it is grayed out for him or it can be editable for him. So this is, so here there is this look and feel coming, right? So I can make it better, right? So that's why. It is not something something like the BIBW where the analytical report will be reflecting in the Tableau, and it's not like that. People will come here. So when I say my process, so create event, requester will see this, approver will see this. So that's how it stands. MDG. Okay. MDG can be a separate system. So when I say separate system, it has its own, either you go through the NWBC or you can go to the respective app to create or change or approve or verify, whatever.
Okay, JK. Just last two questions. Okay. Like this MDG applications. So basically, as you are saying that, what I understood, by using MDG, we can define the fields, what a user supposed to see and what a user supposed to operate. Okay. For a user, if we'll take this example, material master. Suppose you need to for request, or you want to enable 5 fields, so we can enable it for the requester. Correct.
Correct.
And for approver, we can make it editable, as well as additional 2 fields also we can display for the approver. So my question is here, this thing will be run on a browser, or again it will be in same ECC? Good.
So this is definitely on a browser. See, forget about ECC. So once MDG is there, means there is no use of MM01 and MM02. We are going to suppress it. First, so that's the reason I said first activities of security. Okay, security needs to remove those roles, because our traditional way of doing MM01 for creating now that is not required now. This is, they will see this form. This is more governed. Okay, in MM01 also, because people don't want to put all those checks on directly on ECC, because that is the system where you are doing your transactions. We don't want. That's the world shift. You understand?
Okay.
So our first action
Yeah.
is to remove those. You don't see now this MM01, MM02 anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question is like MM01 is our very traditional approach which we are performing in the ECC. So after
Correct.
that, it's came that Fiori application MM01 like material master creation. Also one Fiori app is there which is provided by SAP. So what
Correct.
is this thing will extra thing it will do?
Yes. So now there will be no more MM01, means either through a Fiori or your normal ECC, you don't get that. So this is a different form. Actually, definitely this is capturing the same set of fields, but MDG, because this here we are putting all our business rules, here we are putting all our derivation instead of our standard ECC system, because we don't want to give additional load to our standard ECC. See, if it's a very small company, you don't have a big volume of business, then believe me, MDG you can think of. Okay, but once big, because we do that was the past, right? People don't feel the need of this master data. They were okay to do all these things with MM01, MM02, all these things, right? Now the importance of the master data has come up. That's the reason they are making a different system altogether for master data. Okay, they get it flown to the respective transactional system where they want the business to be operated. So the world has shifted already. That's the reason there is demand on MDG. So once I'm on MDG, then there is no need of MM01 and MM02. My first action will be to remove those roles from the user. But
Okay.
it was
So
good.
for ECC, all the sorry to interrupt you. So for ECC, whatever the transactions are there, or for most of the transactions, are they going to create these MDG applications?
It is all the masters which you are going to create. They are not going to give you a special T code for this. There will be a form. So with the requester, you just go reach in that world where you have everything in your mobile. You just want to create a material. See, you cannot install MDG or SAP in your mobile, right? You don't want that. You can, but very little approval. Just see the data and just move. You even in putting all those grid field, just think about those bank data where you have grid field. How tough that will be for a system. You understand, right? So
Yeah,
think,
got it now.
think in that way that you just have a role. Your role, Amazon, right? You are just a, or you are just a user who can order something. You are not putting a T code, right? There is no system which is robust to be installed. It is just a look and feel. Okay, I am filling the form. That's it. The request moved. The request moved. There will be some roles actually. Okay, there will be some role like requester, verifier, approver. Requester will create something. It will be captured in a CR, the change request. Change request will flow. So we have our workflow modeling. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? We will definitely discuss all these things in detail because that is what MDG is.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jackie. That's it.
Anybody having any questions?
Jackie, Jackie, just one small question. Being having these different role as a business user, functional and technical. So how long a role can last in a market when it comes to SOP, S4 HANA or MDG implementation?
Simply the number of projects which is there available in the pipeline. Once you are tagged as a functional, your percentage of involvement is higher because people prefers all those people who are more close to the business, who understands the business. See, technical I said 20%, even it can be lesser than that because with S4 HANA implementation, several things are already available now. So the piece of code maybe we don't need or we need it very less. Okay, but from a functional perspective, the kind of role what you are playing right now as an end user means you understand the user grievance already. What are the challenges? What are the key takeaways or what are the new things which is coming up? You know, right? So you can turn into a good functional, but believe me, MDG is a techno-functional tool. So even if you do some functionals, you can. So when I say functionals, mean there are some configurations, okay, which you need to do. But you also have to direct the persons who will be writing a piece of code because the enhancement spot or the body see with SAP MDG, the platform is same ECC. That's the reason I said ECC is equivalent to MDG plus additional business activity, right? So over there, we have all those body, what they are carrying. They are carrying the classes, the methods, the objects. So you know what are the objects. You know which methods are applicable. You know this method is under which class. Go and change with our own release management, with all our all the governing packages. So if you are eyeing for a role which is functional, after this implementation you will get another implementation. It is not that it's just a role of 4 months or 5 months. This is the role which you can tag for the entire career life of yours. Because in SAP means we are dealing with transactions only. For transaction, to make our transaction happen, we have something which should be very solid, that is our master data. That's why MDG is. I hope it connected.
Yes, Jack, it does.
Anybody having any questions, or we can? Okay, guys, please be in touch with Suresh, and let me know when we can move, or any other questions if you have, please you can ask. Yeah. Yes.
No, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, everyone.